Hi guys, I'm gonna just wait a little bit just to see who all pops on. But tonight in the live, I want to show how to make these little flowers. I was watching crafting videos and I ran across DIY Dreaming by Heidi Scott. And she was making these. She said that she got the idea from somebody else. But oh my gosh, out of burlap, these are amazing. And then it just kind of kept going from there with my craft. So I ended up making them into some nests for birds. And I think they turned out really cute. This one was my first one. I'm not too happy with it. But that's the good thing about crafting. You know, your first one's kind of like your experiment. And, I mean, I don't like this one because you can see where I have the hot glue. And I learned from it. Hi, Danny. But I still think it's really cute because when birds make their nests, a lot of times they're not neat. They're really messy. So it kind of just adds to the character of the nest. And you can make it as crazy or as neat as you want. And in this live, I'll go through some of the other little options. But I just want to go through and let you know what all you need for this craft. I'm going to show you how to do both, though. I ended up getting these little, I don't know if you'd call it a ribbon, like burlap ribbon, or just burlap. Well, I guess it is ribbon because that's what it says on the label. But they have tons of different colors. I work at Walmart, and so I ended up buying several colors. I used the green ones, if I remember right, to make, well, it was a smaller ribbon, but I ended up making leaves for those mesh roses. And then just recently, they got so much more burlap at Walmart, and I am just in love with that section. So I just bought tons of it. And the orange I bought because I thought, oh, think carrots, you know, Easter's coming. So I went and bought orange and green, and I have been using them like crazy. Hi, Sarah. So you'll need your burlap ribbon, and then any kind of embellishments, buttons, like a little brooch or something, that would work. Just anything, you know, if you wanted to make the flower. You can even use material. You could use felt, just whatever you're wanting. And then if you're doing the nest, you could have it all by itself, or like I did, I put it in a clay pot. Or a clay pot bottom, I guess is what that's called. But you could leave them just by themselves if you want. I also ended up getting these little wooden discs, and you could put one on there as well if you wanted to put like the nest on there. But with the flowers, you could use these as embellishments on like those gnome hats that I was making out of the witch hats. I mean, you could just use them on anything. This one kind of made me think of a sunflower. I love that it's spring because now I'm going to try doing, instead of just Easter and just the holidays, I want to try to make things that you can use year-round. Like this here, it does not have to sit out just at Easter. It could be year-round. Hi, Bailey. And then when I went, we ended up making a trip to Burlington, and we found these little birds. They're kind of like ceramic. And one of them, after I got home, I noticed the tail had broken off. Good thing I'm a crafter, because I can hide the tail. Like if I wanted to, I could buddy these guys up and pretend that the other bird is sitting on his tail. Or I could hide it inside the inside the nest. So either way it works. Or if I was doing this on something else where he's with tons of flowers or something, I could hide it even though it's busted. And then I also got inspired because I already had the smaller terracotta lids or bottoms or whatever. So I went to the store today and I found bigger ones. And what I thought I would do with the nest is I would get these two are the ones that go together. I would put this upside down. And I'm going to E6000 this top to the bottom. And then I'm going to put a big nest up here. Or I could use it as a bird feeder or whatever you want. But I thought I'm going to go ahead and make a nest on here because I found these little bird signs that I think would look really cute in it. So this is the sign. So if I have a nest sitting in here, this bird could sit inside that nest, and then I could put some eggs in there with it. It would look amazing. And then as I was going through, you know, thinking, oh, what all can I do with this? When we were in Burlington, we also went to the Dollar Tree because that's like my ultimate stop. I always have to do that. They had all different like little doors for gnomes. So while I was doing this little setup, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, for my gnome area, what if the bottom part was for a gnome and the top part was for the bird? And I plan on painting this. I will probably paint it either a white or even kind of like a mint green color. But I'm not going to paint it tonight because it takes too long and all that. But you get the gist of what it is. But I thought that would be really cute to doll up the bottom. And they had so many different doors at the Dollar Tree. The mushroom one, though, I do think is my favorite. This little mushroom one. I just think they're cute. So I will be making a big nest for this tonight. And then I'll show you a little bit on how that is, how it'll look once it's all done and glued. And I'll show you the technique how this one, see how this one you don't see the glue like in that first one that I did? I did a different technique, and so I'll show you what I did with that. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, since some people are on here. So the gal on that video, she cut hers 12 inches. And the ribbon is about 6 inches wide. And so she cut it about 12 inches long. This one, I did about 14. This one I plan on making a flower. So what I did was, up at the top, see how some of the stuff is woven this way? I left a little bit up at the top. That way it's not going to unravel everything. So I'm going to leave some of those at the top. And then I started pulling the ones that are going vertical out of there. Now at first, I was just using my fingernail and just pinching and pulling the strands out of there. So you end up pulling the strand. Now don't throw these out because you're going to end up with a mess of them. But those are what I used to put on the top to make those nests. And if you didn't want to make a nest, if you wanted to keep it as the flowers, you could save them and make little bows. So, I mean, you can reuse them. You don't have to throw out all the little pieces. Now, after a while of pulling all of these out, you're also going to leave some at the bottom so it doesn't unravel completely. But after a while, my fingers started getting really tender from my fingernail. So I ended up getting my little needle nose pliers, and I'm just going to grab that strand that I'm wanting, and then I'm going to pull it out. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I leave maybe about an inch at the bottom. And I'll show you why I leave more on the bottom than I do at the top. I love how these work. When I first started watching the video and she said that she was going to make flowers out of burlap, I did not know what to expect. Now see how on the end that did pop off? It's okay. If I was making this into a nest, that would actually add character. But it's not going to matter. It's going to be just fine. And if too much of it's coming out, you can just remove those. And then that will make it a little bit easier for you to pull those out. So also, this is the part that takes the longest. Once you get as much out that you're wanting, then it's just gluing and embellishing. There we go. And as I'm pulling these off of there, I am kind of bringing it up a little bit and kind of pulling a little bit as I go. It kind of makes it a little bit easier. And then you'll feel when it pulls away from that edge and it's going to come out really nice. You'll feel that. This part is really time consuming, but the end result is really pretty. And so see how that's looking? So it has all the strips going this way, and all that you're doing is removing the ones that are going vertical. But you're wanting to leave some at the bottom, about an inch. Now the lady that did the video, she didn't leave much of anything on the bottom. Like, see how small it is on the top? She left about the same at the bottom and just glued it and then did her thing. With mine, I don't know. I think it might be my OCD. To me, it just kind of made it feel like it was more finished for me, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and be done there. So I've got just about an inch. And you'll notice some of them, see how this next one is really big compared to the others? When you pull those out, I did it in the brown one. It started coming out, and then I had a really hard time. And I was like, why is this so hard? Well, as I looked, the end of it was really wide. Now, I would definitely use these parts in the nest or another craft, but I thought that is pretty cool. Also, when I was unrolling the brown, I noticed little specks of green, and when I opened it up, it's almost like some of the green, or maybe the machine that wove this or whatever had the green in it before, and so this must have stuck to the machine. So when they made this, it stuck to the part. Now I'm gonna keep this because with a bird's nest, they just grabbed tons of stuff. And this kind of makes me think of a little piece of moss. So maybe it stuck to a twig or something that they made their nest out of. And it would just add character to the nest. But I did find throughout the brown, I was finding the green specks. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and remove this thick one now. Okay. And when I did that first one, I noticed it was sticking to my table quite a bit. So I'm just going to grab my little silicone pot holder that I used before I got my cordless glue gun. I had my glue gun setting on this because the glue does not stick to it. And it has those little holes or spaces in there. This is what we used with those beehives. My 10-year-old granddaughter said we should fill those with glue, let it dry, and that would look like the honeycomb. So this is what we used for that. And it really made a really cool effect. I just keep them around. I use them all the time in my craft room. But for this, I don't want the burlap and stuff sticking to my mat. So I'm going to set that underneath because it was sticking the other night when I did the other one. And I'm just going to put on my little finger protectors because the glue will go through this burlap. So I'm just going to do a bead of glue at the bottom, and then I'm going to fold this over. And you'll see right away how that's going to make my petals of my flower. So all I'm doing is holding this down for just a brief second or so it catches on there. And then that's creating a little loop. I love how these turn out. And now that they have all different colors, boy, crafting is going to be so much fun. They have so many different colors. And I like that they have the bright red, but they also have like a burnt red or a brick red. I have really been gravitating towards the earth tones this year. So that is how it's looking. All I did was folded that up. I glued it to the top of that space at the bottom. Now this extra, I folded up on top of it. Do you see how I'm doing that? So right here is where I glued, and I'm just going to put a thing of glue there, and then I'm going to roll this over. So it kind of gives a finished edge to me. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to. You can cut this off or keep going and make your petals a little bit longer. But this is just how I did it. So then you're going to go ahead and run your bead of glue and then fold this up. So you have that finished edge. Just, if you do this without the little finger protectors, be very careful because it will burn your fingers, because it does come through that burlap. And you'll see as it's drying and it comes through, it does leave like a little white mark. In the flowers, I'm going to be covering it with a button, so you won't even notice those. What do you guys think so far? Pretty easy, right? I love this effect. And you know, I got to thinking too, like with the gnomes that I make, I could even do this, you know, make it, you know, take it to this step here. And then I could cut these loops and it would look like it was fringe. So I could put it as fringe, like on the bottom of one of the gnomes. My brain just keeps moving as I do the crafts. Or you could leave it looped, and I mean, it would still make a really cool effect. So then all you're going to do, after you do this part, you're going to just take a little square. And then you're going to set some glue down. Kind of like in a rounded motion. And then you're just going to set this on there. And where you want it to turn, you're going to kind of pucker it. When I put more glue down, I'm just making it in that little circular stuff. And I'm not putting a whole lot of glue down at a time because I want to work this flower. So then all that I did was I formed a circle. So then I have all this left over, and I'm just going to go slightly towards the center and go all the way back around. So you're doing like a spiral, and these will lay on top of the ones that you just set down. And I'm only doing a little bit of glue at a time. That way I've got room to mold my flower. It's looking so cute. When I got to about this part last time, that's when I started thinking, oh my gosh, that could be the bottom of a nest. I love how this craft has more than one thing that it can become. It's not just going to be a flower. Okay, so there's the flower part. And then this is the back. And if there is extra on here, you can cut that down. Just be careful not to snip your petals of your flower. And then that would be the base that you can glue it to whatever project that you've got. Somebody, the lady that had posted it, she said somebody had put them on like a picture frame. That would be really pretty. And then I got these big buttons. And then also, if you wanted, like, see how I made the center really big? You could do another row, you know, do up another one that's a little bit shorter. And make it to where it's more full, almost like maybe a rose. And then you can put that in the center. Right now, this one's a little bit too small. This one is too a little bit. I would prefer having the button a little bit bigger, but you get the gist of how that looks. And if you didn't want to use these, you could use felt, whatever you're wanting. Or you could put like a button and the little bows. Or you can do a cluster of several buttons. Like you could start and have that as the base and then do all different types. I think this would be a really cute craft with the grandkids too. I'll probably have to show them how to do them. They'd love it, I'm sure. And these buttons, I ended up getting this great big thing of buttons. I want to say it was the Dollar Tree in Burlington. I got tons of stuff from there. If I didn't get them there, then I did get them at Walmart. So it's one of the two, because that's the only two places that I grabbed really cool button or stuff for my crafting. So I mean, that thing also had little cards for buttons. So I mean, if we did a cluster, those would be really cute. Plus I could do like a little heart. Or if you didn't want buttons, you could even glue an egg in the center. The options are endless. There is so many different things that you could do. Or you could layer different colors for like little pops of color. Or say you have a favorite football team or something, you could stagger them, you could layer them with your favorite colors. I love this craft. Alright, so then I'm going to show you. After I did those, that size fit perfect inside the smaller bin. Well, when I grabbed this one, I thought, how in the world am I going to get it to fit in there? So my brain was moving, and I said, how about if I make it longer? And when I do the circle, I don't make it a small circle. I start with a big circle and then go around. So that is what I did with this here. I do have some extra, so I'm going to cut that off. So I made the circle wider, and I used a bigger piece of burlap. And then I just wanted to see how much it would work. Well, some of the pieces kind of fell out, and that works since this is going to be a nest. And I'll show you here in a minute how that, see how it has some of those pieces hanging out of there? That looks amazing. Now when I had it in here, and I only had that one strip, I thought this might get lost in it a little bit, so I wanted to make it a little bit more full. So I did another piece. This one is about 20 inches long instead of 24. And I thought, I'm just going to use it. I didn't measure, I just snipped it. And I thought, I'm going to just do another round on there so it will be more full before I put the other part in there. I cannot wait to see how this one turns out. And I don't think I could glue this one down in here, but I don't think I'm gonna. That way I can keep this out, and if I wanted to, I could put a different decoration up on top. But for now, it fits perfect in there, and I'm just gonna put it on the shelf, or maybe I'll make a couple of these and sell them. So, because I do plan on doing a craft fair or a vendor show. So I will, maybe I'll put them in there and buy some more so I can have one for here too, because they turn out so cute in the nest. I'm hoping this one turns out just as cute. Okay. So this one, I'm just gonna start it where I ended with the other one. And I'm just kind of going towards, working towards the center. So my center hole is becoming smaller. See how that gives those layers? I love that with this. And all that I'm doing is working it around. And I'm just puckering it as I go. And if you want, you can kind of fluff it as you go. And I've saved all the brown pieces. When I was pulling them, I made sure to save all of those pieces. So that is what it's looking like so far. And then these are all of my strands. And I'll tell you a little tip to where you will not get all that glue effect. So I'm going to take some of the strands and I'm just going to line some glue up on the inside here. And I'm just kind of running it like up the side. So it'll kind of catch it. So from the center coming up, I don't know if that's coming out very well on there. And then I'm just laying this in a circular motion. On the top, so that glue grabs it. And then as I start working up, I'm still going on the inside. And where I lay that, it's grabbing, it's kind of grabbing that glue wherever I'm laying it. And I'm not grabbing like a certain amount. I'm just grabbing like little clumps. And with me doing it this way, all of that glue is being hidden on the inside instead of how I was doing it before. Before I was just going around on that outside edge, and wherever I was going to lay it, I was going to put that bead of glue in a circular motion. And I find this tacks it just a little bit better. And it doesn't grab every single one, but on the inside, it's grabbed pretty much all of those. So, I mean, you see all the glue on the inside, but you don't see that as much on the outside. Already looking really, really cute. And now I'm laying this kind of on the inside because I have it kind of built up where I like it. But I'm covering up some of that glue on the inside that is still wet. So I'm just kind of catching it. That way if somebody does happen to look on the inside, they're not going to see a whole lot of that glue. So see how it looks like I've laid some on there. That looks so much better than this first one because you could see pretty much everywhere that I had put that glue. So that one I'm going to go ahead. And then this bird will sit right there. And I'm wondering if maybe I should put some eggs. Put a couple eggs in there maybe. So it looks like she's sitting on some eggs. I think I'm just going to do 3. The eggs will help hold her in place as well. Hi, Abby. Okay, so I'm taking the eggs off of there for now. And then I'm going to glue her in. And I could paint her if I wanted to. I'm planning on painting the pot, so I think I'll probably keep her the way she is. And then I will glue in. For now, I'm going to just lay her off to the side. And I'm going to glue, put tons of glue on this egg, because this will help hold her in place. Then I'm going to stand her back up. Then I'm going to turn her around and I'm going to glue the other 2 eggs in there. It's already helping hold her already, and it's only 2 eggs. When I get that 3rd one in there, it'll hold her up really well. And I like how she has like the little scrolling part, because from both sides, especially from this side, if I use the white and the brown as the front of it, you can still see that blue egg behind her. And I'm just adding glue where it's touching the nest and where it's touching each other, the bird and the egg. That way it stays together really nicely. What do you guys think so far? See how you can still see that blue in there? Hi, Izzy. That's what I like about this one. Plus, if I went this way, you can see that there's a nice portion of eggs on there. So nice and simple. And then I had also found at the Dollar Tree this bag, and it has tons of different things. It has like little pine cones, and I don't know what these are. They kind of look like little popcorn. I think they look cool. Or even, they also remind me of those little snap things on the 4th of July. And then this. And so I also thought, well, you know how birds grab all sorts of things? You could always doll it up just a little bit. I mean, a little bit of greenery. You could add a pine cone here and there. These little white popcorn looking things. I mean, the way you can doll it up is just endless. And you can glue these in if you like the placement. I like how it looks with all these things, and it doesn't really season it either. It's not strictly Easter, you know, it's not for any specific holiday. And if you didn't want this greenery in there, I'll also show you some other ideas that I had thought would work. I ended up getting some stuff from Walmart, and they have these purpley looking flowers. Those could be kind of tucked in there as well in several spots. I mean, it would be so cute. And it would work with any decor. You can change up the flowers if you don't glue them in. I'm just gonna, I have more of this one, that's why I chose this one. I have more of the purple. So no matter what side you chose, still works. It looks so cute. You could take it a little step further if you wanted and add a little bit more greenery. Like you could have some greenery sticking out of the you could have some greenery sticking out at the top and have the purple stuff on the bottom. You could decorate it however you like. Or you could even glue some here. You know how some birds have stuff in their mouths? You know, maybe she's making her nest. Put a little bit of glued up there. That would work as well. Or even the little stems, or you can add like little leaves. What's another one? Oh, I've got some of these here. I use them on my beehives. You could add like little pops of color. Like maybe, oh my goodness, I'm loving how that's looking. I don't know about you guys, but oh my goodness, I'm liking how that looks. I just might keep it like that. And then when you have it up on this here, you can add this at the bottom. And have your little gnome. Wouldn't that look cute in a garden? Oh my goodness. I don't think it would be good weather-wise though because of the burlap. But inside the house, you could have your own little garden. Our house has like a little entryway. Right now I have my Christmas tree still. You know, we have a small one, and I was decorating it for all the seasons and stuff. But I have all of my gnomes on a little thing right as you enter the house in that entryway. This would look really cute. You know, I could have all my little gnomes down on the bottom, and then this is the centerpiece. They just turn out so cute. Or I could even have like special things. What else? Like a little wishing well. Or even you could have a whole little gnome gardens. If you can tell, I'm addicted to gnomes. So, of course, I would turn this into a gnome project, right? But if you didn't like gnomes, you just take them away. And you've got a really cute spring. And I plan on painting this. It'll either be a distressed white, or it'll be kind of like a mint green color. And if you didn't want it up like this, you could still display it just down like this. Either way looks great. I mean, even if you didn't have the right size bottom, it still looks cute. And these can have, I glued this one down, but I mean, it's still, they just turn out so cute. I probably will buy some smaller ones of these and put on those and add them to my stuff that I'm gonna sell, just because I love this craft. And it all started from a flower. This was the original, this was the only thing I was pretty much going to show how to do, but as I was making them, I ended up with the nest. I'm kind of obsessed now, especially with it being spring. You know, you see all the birds and everything. They turn out so cute. This big one, though, I think is my favorite. I love this bird. And pretty soon, everything's going to be going on sale. And just a heads up, you know how I did all those little hats? All the 4th of July. Oh my goodness. It was a crazy day at work, so my brain's still a little muddled. But all of those St. Patrick's Day hats that they had at Walmart, they're bigger than the other ones that I got from the Dollar Tree. So a sock won't fit over them, but they had them on sale, so I bought the last 6 that they had. So those will probably end up being snowman hats, you name it. I'll end up crafting. I will cover them, whatever, I don't know, but you'll probably see them sometime in the future. Because I'm addicted to those hats. And now I think I'm addicted to the burlap ribbon. Every time I watch a crafting video, I get addicted to something else, and my brain just keeps going and going. And see, even if I wanted to, I could embellish this as well. And if I had, not 6-inch, if I had like a smaller ribbon, I could make a smaller flower, and I could use those as embellishments as well. And see, you could add a little bow to the bird. I love how it's so versatile. I love the crafts that do that. And this bird here, I don't know if I showed it earlier, he's got markings that kind of look like glasses. How awesome is that? With me being an optician, he's probably my favorite bird that I end up getting. And I will probably save him for some Harry Potter thing, because it does look like he has little Harry Potter glasses on. So he could have maybe a Harry Potter nest. So for him, he would have like a wand sitting in it, or who knows, potion bottles. You know, I have little I have little bottles with corks in them. He would be cute in one. Danny, maybe I'll save him for you. You always do really good stuff as well. Another crafting day. Everything turns out so cute. Out of all of these, which ones are your guys' favorites? Do you have a favorite of them? And like, see, this one here, I don't really care how it looks on the outside. I could cover that one with flowers. I bet you that would work. I could cover it up, or even like the pine cones. I could add the pine cones. And that would help cover, some of that. Or even some greenery. And in that bag, it also had this wire, I don't know what it's called. I have some of these in gold and red and white. They had them out at St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's at the Dollar Tree. So, I mean, I could just kind of doll up where I don't like how my glue is showing. I could cover that up with some of this stuff. Or even if I didn't want that, I could even use like bigger. I think that takes away from it though. I think I do like even like the greenery. I don't know. I'll play around with it. There's ways of covering it up if you don't like it. Or even those little pieces that were inside the spools. I could use that and it could look like there's moss growing on it. And it could hide some of the glue that I don't like seeing on there. And even some pine cones. What do you guys think? See, since I've added some stuff to it, you can't see it as much. So it does work to kind of cover up the parts that you're not too satisfied with. A lot of times I'll say that you have some happy accidents with all those little imperfections. You can doll it up with other things and no one would even notice. Someone out there would probably love the fact that the glue was showing. I find if you're not satisfied with something, somebody out there loves it. I mean, look at that. You can't really even tell. There's some spots you can see it if you get really close, but it hides it. And birds, they just grab random things, so it all works. I just don't want to add too much to where it hides my eggs. I don't know. I'll play around with it. But I'm liking how it looks with the flowers and the little added stuff. Whoops. I could even add leaves in there. I think my all-time favorite, though, is the tall one. This one here. I love how that one turned out. This one I think I'm going to keep really simple. And just leave that little bit of greenery in it. And that one's good to go. Some people don't want a whole lot in there. And you can make it as elaborate or as simple as you want. So there's something for everyone, a really simple one. And same with this one. I didn't glue down any of the flowers or the pine cones or anything. So they can all be taken out and it could be really, really simple. my decor down in my entryway, I think I love the little lavender and everything. I'm allergic to flowers, so I'm glad that I'd be able to have a little bit of flowery stuff in there, and it's not going to affect my allergies. I love that little bird too. I love the colors. I wish I could find these little knick-knacky looking birds and different animals throughout the year. I found them at Farm King, so maybe I'll have to make more trips to Farm King now. Or maybe Orchlands would have some. I haven't looked over there either. But, oh my goodness. I find now I'm going to have more crafting places. And I'm sure Hobby Lobby and Joann's, I'm sure they have them. But I wanted something that wasn't going to be too costly. So the birds, they were only $1. And I was kind of arguing with myself. Should I pay $1 for that? Well, I've purchased stuff like that from the Dollar Tree for $1. And so it works with my budget. And I know Joann's and Hobby Lobby, they also have coupons and stuff, so that would help with the prices if they're too expensive. But oh my goodness, they're so adorable. And as I am looking, my brain's still going. As I'm looking at this, I had it stacked off to the side. If I staggered that just a little bit, that could be little steps. And then some greenery or whatever. That could be for like a gnome. My brain's just going everywhere. I am so addicted to the gnomes though, so be prepared. You're going to see more gnomes on my page. And if you didn't get a chance, check out that one gnome that I just finished. It kind of looks like Willie Nelson. So I kind of nicknamed him Willie. Turned out better than what I thought it would. So he'll be in my sale. And when I do a craft show or a vendor event, I will post it on my page so whoever wants to come visit, if they're in the area, they'll know where I'm at. But I think I'm going to go ahead and show this again. I mean, I could leave it terracotta looking too. And if your porch is kind of closed in or where it's not going to get too much weather, this could go out on a porch. But if I have one, it's probably going to go in my entryway. If it goes in my entryway, it's going to have the little gnome on there as well. I just think that is so cute. Oh my goodness. And I do have enough to make one more of these. So I will probably work on that another day. Maybe I'll do a different color for the nest. I don't know. We'll see. But I will post pictures on my page of all the flowers that I did and the nests. I am so glad that you guys were able to tune in and see. And if you didn't get a chance to watch, I hope that you watch it later. It will be on my page. And I also made a little sign. I hope that you guys can do that for me. Get the word out and let people see this really cute craft. And I think I'm going to log off and talk to you guys later. I'm so glad that you guys still like watching the videos. I'll keep doing them. I have so much fun with them. So if you have any questions or anything, just message me. And I will keep you posted. I am thinking maybe doing a live tomorrow. I'm not sure. I have lots of crafty things that I have my eye on. So just keep checking back on my page, and I will see you next time. Have a good night and a good week. Bye.